Long ago, and more so than today, the holy grail of all aspiring musicians was to get a record contract with a major record label. Columbia, Warner's, Warner Reprise, Atlantic, Epic, Elektra, they all seemed so mythic back then. Once you were signed to a major label, they paid you, as an individual artist or band, one lump sum of money up front. From that sum were many costs, which record companies would bill back to you. There were also recording costs and basic upkeep and living costs as well. But at least you had a brief respite from being on the road or working a 9-to-5 day job to make a living. What a major label did for you, besides give you that upfront money, was A, they gave you cachet as an artist. B, presumably, they would advertise you and stock your new album in record stores, maybe around the world. And finally, they would identify a potential hit song on your album and push it to radio stations. Just to reach the level of being a bona fide recording artist on a major label was an achievement that 99% of musicians would never know. In the 1980s and early 90s, an amazing number of Wisconsin bands entered this star-making machinery of the big label world. There were the Bodines, the Violent Femmes, both successful, both hit makers. There was Timbuk 3, who had one huge hit. There was also a collection of artists who were almosts, near misses, stepping stones, complete misses, or successful enough to tour nationally for a few years. In this category was Firetown, Semi-Twang, Loie Nelson, the father and son roots rockers, the Spanik Boys, and in the final year of the decade, from way up north in Hayward, Wisconsin, proudly identifying with their hometown moniker as the giant muskie capital of the entire world, and recording on the Warner Reprise label, there was Molly and the Heymakers. Welcome to Wisconsinology on Music, a collaboration between 91.1 The Avenue and Wisconsinology.
Well, I've got to slow down and take control. I've got to be the one to run the show. But when I should use my head.
Molly was Martha Shear, a multi-instrumentalist and vocalist still active in the northern Wisconsin music scene. She and her band, the Heymakers, were a fresh, out-of-nowhere novelty when they scored a top 50 hit in 1990 with their first single, Chasing Something, called Love.
I'm back up on my feet, chasing something.
Although this song was only mildly successful as a radio hit, the video played a lot on country music television, and soon a lot of people were introduced to and intrigued by this band from the mythical Northwoods of Wisconsin. From 1989 to 1993, they toured constantly and made more videos. Molly was the real deal, at times almost comically so. She sewed her own clothes, grew and canned vegetables, and was then married to the log-rolling champion of the big woods. Playing mandolin, fiddle, guitar, and drums, she and her band were pure energy on stage. They aimed to please, and they blew many bigger headliners off the stage, in a nice way. I saw them. Note to young bands and solo singer-songwriters, never ever follow a band that closes their set with a fiddle tune. Molly and the band were so appealing that I completely forgot who the headliner was. I think his name was Garth.
The thunder rolls.
Molly and the Heymakers had one album on Warner Reprise and charted 3 singles in the country top 100. Peter Frampton once said, whether you hit it big, small, or medium, for most artists, you get about 3 years of forward motion, and then it peters out. This was very true for Molly and her group. In the end, they were a popular stage act who, for a moment, ran with the big time. For Wisconsinology and 91.1 The Avenue, I'm Frank Anderson.
Wisconsinology on Music is presented by Heid Music, your trusted resource for all things musical. More at heidmusic.com. With additional support provided by a grant from the Bright Idea Fund from the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region.